in class? Yesterday we discussed so, and today we are going to discuss so. But I acknowledge the presence of the chairman of the occasion, the honorable speaker, and all my elders that are here, ladies and gentlemen. The first paper was a sermon on the mountain. I am going to give a sermon at the foot of the hill. And as a scholar and a historian who has committed a class suicide, I will start with the people. I'm interested in the quality of life that they live. I'm interested in their struggles. And I want to start by singing this song from a reggae artist, Piratosh. Just a little bit of the stanza. Everyone is talking, is crying out for peace, yeah. None is crying out for justice. Everyone is crying out for peace, yeah. None is crying out for justice. Thank you very much. Now, our Reverend told us that man lost peace when he departed from God. And unless we trace our way back to God, we shall not have peace, and that is true. But as a student of history, I know also that we have only two solid laws in the Bible, commandments in the Bible, as summarized by Jesus Christ. Love the Lord your God with all your heart, with all your might, with all your strength, with all your everything. And that is commandment number 1. Commandment number 2 says, love your neighbor as you love yourself. Jesus Christ did not stop there. He said it is like unto the first. So if you keep the first and you don't keep the second, 0 for you. Now, I have noticed the mixed nature of this audience. And because of that, I have made this paper very, very unacademic. There are no references, and I have not tried to drag you into the plethora of theoretical or historical details. I just tell you pure history. And in the introduction, I will talk to the paper because I believe the copies are going to go around. When you go to your houses, you can have time to read them. I'll just talk to the paper. Now, in the introduction, I try to tell you what you should expect from the paper. But in the final analysis, I am saying that the paper will make us to engage ourselves in self-assessment. We are going to assess ourselves in the course of this discussion to see who has done what and who benefited from what. Now, my topic is very simple. It says the history and geopolitical composition of ethnic groups in southern Taraba. Now, if you go to my next topic, which says a brief history of ethnic groups and geopolitical composition in southern Taraba, there I want to tell you clear and straightforward without missing words. Because as a historian, I know of only one truth, and I'm very conscious of it, that when I give out any information in the public, I stand by it because I am a custodian of the history of society. So I tell you just what it is. Now let me tell you that in southern Taraba, there are only 2 groups. That's what the paper is saying. Though it is non-academic, but I want to tell you that every information I put in this paper will be backed by facts and figures. So if you meet me anywhere, I will give you the facts and the figures. And I thank God when the chairman was making his opening remark, he made reference to Elder Jibril and Fani. How that he took them through a historical reality. But I'm going to do that too here, and we'll push it further. Now, I said in southern Taraba there are only two groups, two solid groups. Who are these groups? If you look at the paper, I have what I call the Jukun amalgam. The Jukun amalgam. When you say the Jukun man will say this, the Kuteb man will say that, the same man will say that, the Jukun man will say that, you are telling us about one and the same person. That is historical fact. That is a historical fact. The term Jukun is a linguistic category. It describes the speech of a people. And history has shown us that about 10 different groups of people have been identified under the term Jukun. The man in Wukari is a Wapa man. If he tells you he's Jukun, he's correct. But he's only a section of the Jukun, which is Wapa. The Kuteb man will tell you he's not Jukun. He is being political. He's only being political. That you are the son of your father, and because of the disappointment you have with your father, you tell the whole world that he's not your father. Does it change the content of the blood that runs in your system? So under the Jukun amalgam, we have 10 groups, and I'm telling you about historical facts. 10 groups. You have the Wapa, which is usually referred to in the books as Jukun. Okay? Now you have the Koro. You have the Ashuku. You have the Chatum. You have the Kpa. You have the Kuteb. You have the Yuguben. You have the Bandawaminda. You have the Chomo and Jiru. 10 of them. If you are talking of Jukun, these are the groups you are referring to. They have a history that is traceable. And the facts and figures are there. So let us not make mistakes. This is already a bedrock for unity. All right? Now, if these are the Jukun, now when you come to southern Taraba, you are talking specifically about, I think, 5 groups out of these 10. You are talking about the Wapa. You are talking of the Kuteb. You are talking of the Kmazu. You are talking of the Iche. You are talking of the Yube. Okay? And which other group? Well, all these Wano, Wurubo, and all the other ones, they are not entities on their own. So we are talking of these groups. So in the southern senatorial zone, we have these 5 groups. All right? So you have this Jukun, amalgam. Now outside this group, then I say you have another group. That is all the others. And which are all the others? I go down in the paper to talk about the immediate neighbors of the Jukun. But if you examine the immediate neighbors of the Jukun, you'll find out that so many of them are answering Jukun and are speaking Jukun and are practicing Jukun culture. So it is only a thin line that is separating them from the actual Jukun. That is also another bedrock of unity. The Chamba, for instance, that will live in Takum, Wukari, and Donga, do they speak Chamba language? Do they practice Chamba culture? Are they not Jukun? The Bakariga that came with the Kwara forces from Kano and other parts of Hausa land. Today, where are they? Are they more of Hausa or Jukun? Are they more of Hausa or Jukun? The name they bear is a Jukun name, Abba Kwariga. Now, if you talk about the Tikari, the Jidu, the Lufum, the Pieri, and all the others, and other Bafum elements, Party, and the rest of them. Where do you place them? They have all the attributes of the Jukun and the characteristics that you find among us here. That's another bedrock of unity. You can only talk about separate entities when you are looking at recent comers, settlers. Perhaps you talk of the Igbo, you talk of the Yoruba, you talk of even the Dama, the people we refer to as Dama. So many of them, you cannot separate them from the Jukun. Is it not true? So, only few people you can separate them from the Jukun. So, my own thesis is that if we are really going by our history, there is already a foundation for unity that is laid in that history. All the divisions we talk about are political. People like my elder brother said, who find themselves at a disadvantaged position in competition, we want to divide and rule. To place this one here, place that one there. It's unfortunate that when people want to move and take their history, their destiny into their hands, people will begin to come and call them all sorts of names. Now, it is unfortunate. But I tell you that if you look at Southern Taraba in Nigerian politics, I'm going to the next section. If you look at Southern Taraba in Nigerian politics, you will find that we have had and continue to have our fair share of the national cake. There was no time that Southern Taraba was not represented in Nigerian politics, political history. Right from the pre-independence era. You are aware that Mala Ibrahim Sangari of blessed memory was in Lagos. That was even before independence. You are aware that in the subsequent republics, we had representation, good representation, at the federal level, at the state level, both at the executive and legislative level. Okay? So Southern Taraba should not be crying today because we have good representation. I put them here, you can go and read them. We have had good representation. And I want to tell you that in a democracy, if you have problems and you feel democracy is not taking care of you, you should ask yourself if you are represented. Now in a democracy, if you are represented, then you have no cause for alarm. But if you still have to complain, then the issue is the quality of your representation, which is why we are crying here. The quality of our representation in Southern Taraba in recent times has been bad, has been terrible. It's like you planning to meet another team in a football field. Instead of fielding your good first 11, you go and field people that were not qualified to be class monitors even at primary school. Yes. But you see, I don't blame Southern Taraba. Because I want to tell you that we in Southern Taraba have always been disenfranchised. We have never been allowed to elect people that we want to represent us. And that's the fact of the matter. Manipulation, electoral malpractice, everywhere. When we attempted to do that in Takum here, and today you have a speaker sitting here. If you know the history of how the speaker came to be a speaker, you agree with what I'm telling you. Some people have to die because of that. And that is our politics. Pull him down. Pull him down. And we have so much embraced one party system, such that if it is not PDP, forget about him, he's an enemy. Forget about him. 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 Yes. We have so much embraced one-party system. Even when our country is talking about multiple-party system. In southern Taraba, if you are not PDP, sorry for you. In Takum here, at Fawe, 30 here. At Fawe here in Takum. At a point, when the federal government is launching an attack on polio, to chase polio out, polio vaccines were prevented from taking to that area because the area was tagged an ACN area. In Takum here. Yes, that is what we do to ourselves. That's what we do to ourselves. Now, I'm very happy that this meeting is holding in this church. I'm very happy that the youth have decided to hold this meeting in Takum. Because I want to tell you that if our problem of disunity is 100%, 70% of it is from Takum here. And 50% of that problem started in this place where we're meeting. Yes, I'm telling you the truth, and that is historical. Now, if you flash your mind back to 1973, when there was a split, where did it start? In a church. And which arena? Is it not this one? Yes. So, but I'm happy that the CRCN and the CRCN, I understand you have come together. I pray it is not only here. And so we are going into self-assessment. I've told you that is what the paper will do. So let us be sincere and talk to ourselves and understand ourselves. I walked into this place late. I was even wearing my hat when I entered the church. I forgot that I was even coming into the church. Because of the challenges I had on the way. When I was driving from Wukari to Takum, my car got stuck up at Chanchanji. Mechanic could not fix it. I had to abandon it there and take another car. But as a teacher whose reward must start on earth, my student was driving from Wukari to Takum. And behold, he saw my car. He spotted my car. He went and stopped. Came back. I had gone to look for a mechanic. So he waited for me. I came, sir, what is the problem? I said, this is it. He took his passenger back to Janchanji, offloaded them. Came and towed my car from there to the mechanic workshop. And picked my things, including the papers that have been shared to you, into his car. Took me straight to where I needed to be. And that is the reward of the teacher, and it starts here. Now, we must not lose focus of one fact, that in our midst, sincerely, and like somebody has said, we must try to appreciate ourselves. There are people among us that we know have done their best to lift us from the condition of penury. But I tell you, the young generation of politicians that we have in this place, we must watch them very well. We must watch them very well. They are the people that have led us into disrespecting elders, like somebody has said. And the elders too. There are some elders I know that they disrespect themselves before they are even disrespected. When a small boy comes with something from his pocket and gives you, and then he is sitting on the head of his brother, you are telling the world that what he's doing is right, simply because you have taken your own share. It is unfortunate. But if the paper is saying that the Jukun as a language, as a culture, as a symbol, can be used as a rallying point to bring us together in southern Taraba. Because by the time all the Jukun groups or Jukunoids come together, the thief man has always been a friend and a good neighbor. We have always operated together. That can be keyed in. All other people, but who will play the leadership role? Who will lead the way? Now, let me tell you, there is a study by a Japanese named Kiyoshi Shimizu. Yeah, he did a PhD thesis in University of Ibadan, 1971. And the title is Comparative Jukunoid. He was the person that added Bandawaminda, Chomo, and Jiru to the list of 7 that Joseph Greenberg had identified in 1963. And his work is titled Classification of African Languages. It's here. Okay? Now the man has calculated, he did a linguistic calculation of the Jukun language. And his conclusion was that if you put the 10 Jukun groups together, you will find that the Yugube, the Kuteb, and the Che contain more than 70% of the Jukun root words in their vocabulary. More than 70%. And the group that has lost almost all the root words is even the Wapa. That is the calculation. And his reason is this: that among the Jukun groups, it is the Wapa that has abandoned the Jukun traditional home and went out such that he had earlier contact with people outside more than his other brothers who are in the interior. And where two languages meet, you know, they influence each other. So the Wapa lost most of his vocabulary to these other languages that he came into contact with in the process of historical development. And because of the contact the Wapa had, he was able to lead the other Jukun people and the other groups in the famous Kwararafa kingdom. And so we're talking about who will lead. The responsibility lies directly in the court of the Wapa man. But it is unfortunate that it's like the Wapa man has not realized that historical leadership role that has been bestowed on him. And so today, even when we are going to organize ourselves into political parties, you will find us singing different songs. Even when sometimes the other Jukunoids will want to support the Wapa man to be, the number one enemy of the Wapa man is the Wapa man himself. Angugani Umachu Wapa ifinka wa Umachu Wapa ifinda o sipa nukin. And then let me tell you the fact of the matter. Part of our political undoing is that the Wapa man is a very conservative man. To the core. Today, if you want to drag him on the floor, go to his elder and lie down before his elder, and then drag the wapper man. He will be smiling and following you. Because he's obeying his elder. And so oftentimes, the confusions that have been caused in our politics in southern Taraba, like my elder brother said, which used to come from outside, has been able to penetrate because of this conservatism. And the heart of the conservatism is in Wukari. In Takum, we have talked about opposition parties and things like that, and even in other places. But the Wukari man does not know opposition. He doesn't know opposition. It was MPN, and everybody must go for MPN. It is PDP, and everybody must go for PDP. Why should it be so? To Urikanyangwa, Oma Bawi de Horikanya. And that is why we have problem. The people we support to be in position, the people we play the good boy to, are the people that turn around to throw stone at us. I told somebody, in your kapan rawa ya chanja, kili ya chanja, but I'm chanja kapan rawa ba. If we decide today that look, it is this political party that we want, even if it is the political party that will start, what is wrong with it? The final destination is to grab the power. So if I grab the power from the left, or from the right, or from the center, or from behind, what is wrong with it? I've achieved my aim, which is to grab power. Will I continue to play the second fiddle, to throw somebody at the back, because he has established a popular party, Mobi party in Gonati? Continue to follow. How did the party become party in Gonati? Is it not because of the support you gave the party? So, Southern Taraba people, we are responsible for our problems. Now, Tamane, Nigango Zamga Yoka Bishum Danjira Bani. Ndishum Danjira Bani. Comment missionnaire de Chidon, so que Pibi Capi. Jira Capi Dangene Bachona Danjira Geno Danjira Rishan Bachidon. Comment Agioka. Missionnaire de Chidon, so que Pibi Capi. Jirana Shenini Kiyo Yoka Gere Kablanchi Kagmavi. Si la prison di Yoka Gere dans Chidon la Kou Tafé va que Birazon. Ani dans Chidon Kou Tafé beaucoup Birazon. Kablanchi ne Saza memba. Ya Paga que mi devient. Ko banamba ngodamu Chamba tama jene oba me je baranzo ama gaskiya bijira ndi shine na obedum dudu ai. Yes now obedum dudu ai tiri ne ba shi gamda ro wa panzo se mazende go. Today in Taraba State, it is between Takum and Osa that there is no boundary demarcation. My brother, look at the political map of Taraba State. From Takum to Osa, it is open, no demarcation. Why is this so? Why is this so? Why has your two local governments become undemarkable? Why? That was why I sang that song to you. We talk about peace, we talk about unity, but we're not talking about justice. We have used our hands to suppress some people. We have used our hands to select people that we want them to belong and throw some people away that they don't belong. Today you will see you want them to sit down with you and talk unity. Will they be part of it? If it is you, will you be part of it? You know Ram Samba. I can know rabbit decision. It don't know Tana. Tana been no regard for Tana. Tana, we should go down, she go yet don't know Tana. Zina Shinini, Shigio Takum Gere, Azwan, e Banba Bishi Zungu Frane, Chanoma, Chamba do Rio Kagere, Poka Yak Fan Bishi, Yapoka Yak Kasa Okari, Yapoka Yak Kasa Yibi, Yapoka Yak Donga, I am not Kurgo to Chigo. Wapa Pagaba who carried the soup, Gaba Kunzoma, Kushona Pedobi Kutagoma, and Marco de Bungazago performing with other Takum. As you call a Pagagunya, Besafonora. Is it proper? You see, I'm very sorry that as a historian, I tell you the facts the way they are. I'm telling you about facts that there are people that are sitting here that know the facts better than me. So, principally, I'm telling you that in southern Taraba, we have some problems that are deep-seated. And if we want unity, if we want peace, we will have to look at these problems and see how we solve them. Unity and peace cannot cohabit with problems, injustice, and political marginalization. It's not going to be possible. So that is what I'm saying. We want to talk unity. We want to talk peace. But what are we saying about somebody who has placed his own 1 foot on the head of his brother and he's trying to crush it? And the others are looking. How do you want that brother to feel? Do you really want to carry him along in the message of unity? So, I say 70% of our problem in southern Taraba is in Takum here. So, we better focus on Takum and resolve this problem. Otherwise, our dream of peace and unity will be a fleeting illusion. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Because anything that touches on the tradition and culture of the people, anything that touches on the tradition and culture of the people, if you don't respect my culture today, it means you have denied me of my peoplehood. And so you want to talk unity with me? What unity are you talking with me? When my culture is not important to you? When my life is not important to you? What unity do you want us to talk about? Now let me tell you that, politically speaking, our disunity started from around 1957-59. There was an alliance, an agreement between our various people to nominate, to elect late Malam Usman Sangare to go to Lagos. And he went. And it was agreed that after that tenure, another brother will come from somewhere. Was it honored? Well, it's characteristic of the Nigerian politician. Let Malam Usman Sangare tasted it and wanted to go the second time. So it is natural. He will not want another person to go into it. But if it was an agreement, the brothers should have prevailed on him. This was our agreement. Allow your brother to go too. It didn't happen. And so when it didn't happen, what happened to our politics? The next time, it was Tango that went. Is it not true? How did Tango went? Yes, Tango Gaza went. With our own support here. Specifically Takum and Donga. Because of that breach of agreement. Today, how are we playing our politics? You deceive your brother to agree with you. And when the time comes, you betray him. Tomorrow, will he sit down with you to agree? So our politicians, let's learn something from this. I don't want to take too much of our time. But I want to conclude by saying that no problem is too big, too great, too complex to be solved. But that a problem is not solved by running away from it. You don't solve problems by running away from them. So let us face our problems squarely. Let's face our problems squarely. And then attempt to solve them. Otherwise, we'll be playing the ostrich. We won't be playing the ostrich. And the people outside will be using us to gain upper hand and gain the political positions that we look onto. That is my take. Thank you very much.
I'm sure you can do better than that. That has been Professor Emmanuel Lawson Hassan with that scholarly work. Thank you very much for that great presentation, nipping it in the bud, not mincing words. Historian. He's a lecturer at the Federal University in Wukari, and he has done a very, very scholarly presentation. You don't run away from your problem. The solution to the problem is not running away from the problem, but identifying it, and that is why we are here. Every one of us have known that we have a problem. And running away from this problem all this while will not bring about the solution. And I want to appreciate the message by the Unity Band. They said, whatever we decree, it shall come to pass. That is why we are here. The Kuteb man is here, the Jukun man here, the Jukunoid. The Jukunoid, they are all here. Even the Abakwarigas, Abakwariga, they are here. When you want to hear more about the Abakwariga, Baba Sangari is here. He will tell you Abakwashina. That is another part of it. Baba Jibrin Amfani is here. When the time comes, he will give you details about that. In the meantime, can we put our hands